they call us and they're like, hey, we need you to be at Children's Hospital at 5:30 in the morning. And I'm just like, that when we got there, the anesthesiologist almost did not do Storm's surgery because he heard a heart murmur and needed to get an echocardiogram, like an x-ray of his heart. Then she looks at me and I notice that one of her eyes is like way bigger than the other one. And I full on panic and I'm like, hello everybody, it's Shannon Rose, and in today's video I wanted to just quickly update you guys on the kids and them having surgery. I had posted about this a while ago. Not everyone watches all my videos, so I just wanted to quickly update you and let you know what surgery my kids ended up having, why they both had to have surgery. They both ended up going into surgery the same day, same time. Well, one went first and then the other one went. And I originally went to a dentist. So they ended up having dental surgery because they had an excessive amount of cavities, both of them. And when we went to the dentist, when they told me Snow had 8 cavities and she needed a crown, and like Storm had 4 cavities. Storm's only 3 years old. Snow was only 5 at the time. And so I just thought that this dentist was scamming me, especially because I had gone on social media, like my Instagram or my TikTok, and I had said like, is this normal? I just found out that both of my kids, not one, but both of them need to have surgery and like go under anesthesia, the whole thing. So earlier today, the kids had a dentist appointment. They were so good. They had their checkups, their cleanings. Snow had x-rays, and the dentist is like, so she has 8 cavities, he has 4. And I was just like, wait, what? What did you just say? And he's like, 4 are fillings and 4 need crowns. She's 5. I'm like, is that normal? It seems kind of excessive. And he was like, no, it's pretty normal. I feel like such a horrible parent because I'm like, is this my fault? Like, we brush their teeth like every night, every morning. You know, I asked like the dentist, I was like, is this normal? He's like, at the Children's Hospital, the second highest surgery done there is dental surgery. So he's like, it's pretty common. I was like, what is causing all of this? Like, and people were like, no, dentists are so scammy. They will tell you that they have all these, go get a second opinion. And so I was convinced I was being scammed, and which really upset me, by the way. There could be quite a few people in this industry that are scamming parents out of thousands of dollars just to make money and putting kids through like traumatic, painful experiences that are unnecessary. There should definitely be like some sort of regulations put in place so that that doesn't happen, because unfortunately, I think it is happening to a lot of people. In our case, we did not just get a second opinion, we got a third and fourth opinion. And unfortunately, our kids did have that many cavities. And so even during this process, like Snow had a lot of pain in one of her teeth and ended up having to go get a cavity filled before the surgery date because the dentist was so busy and booked up that like we weren't able to get the kids in to have this surgery until months from when they found out about the cavities. And unfortunately, what happens is that when you wait that long, you know, it just gets worse and worse. And unfortunately, that's what happened in our case. And I'll tell you, it was worse than I could have ever imagined. Like once they got into surgery and the dentist came out and told me what happened. But that wasn't even like the scary part. The scary part was that when we got there, the anesthesiologist almost did not do Storm's surgery because he heard a heart murmur and needed to get an echocardiogram, like an x-ray of his heart before he would even like administer medicine to put him under, because he was really concerned about his heart. And so that like really freaked me out because I thought we were gonna like find out something at like a routine surgery, you know, that was just like something simple and shouldn't have any complications, you know, finding out something scary about one of your kids before they're supposed to go into surgery. So that was terrifying. So I'll tell you about the results on that in a second, but let me first walk you through the day. So when we first scheduled the surgery, it was for a specific date. Well, the day before, they call and tell us like, sorry, one of the machines is broken and we have to like reschedule you. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. I had been prepping the kids to have this surgery and let them know like what was gonna happen and, you know, like prepare them for like weeks, you know, and we had it on the calendar, like when it was gonna be, so they knew, because my kids can get very anxious and I wanted, you know, them to feel not so scared. I thought if like, you know, we talked about it, they knew what was happening, like they would be ready for it. That really screwed us up. So thankfully we were able to get another surgery day. They call us and they're like, hey, we need you to be at Children's Hospital at 5:30 in the morning. And I'm just like, so and they can't eat or drink anything because, you know, they're gonna go into surgery and be put under. So we got there, and Travis, because it was so early in the morning, Travis was actually able to come with us at the very beginning, and then he had to leave to go to work. So it was just me by myself alone with both kids having surgery, and thankfully they put us into rooms where like there was a sliding glass door, and like one kid was in that room, and then, you know, the next room over was basically Storm's room. So I was able to go back and forth, and they gave something called happy juice to the kids, and it was very difficult to not have them eat or drink anything because they're always hungry and thirsty. So that was a challenge, but we made it through. And then we got there, they gave the kids something called happy juice, which was like a concoction of like Versed or something to make them like not have anxiety when they go back. And then they put the mask on and have them like breathe. They play with balloons. It's children's hospital, so like they were amazing. They work with kids, and the kids, to my surprise, were little angels, because the day before they did something really horrible. Like they just destroyed the house and did a lot of bad things. But the next day, thankfully, they were angels. Nurses were just like making comments like, your kids are so well behaved and so well mannered. And I was just like, oh, thank you. Like, I'm like, if you only knew what they did yesterday, you know. But thankfully, when they're out in public, they were, you know, being well behaved. So I was very proud of them. Nurses and the staff were just like amazing. Everyone was so nice. So they give the kids that happy juice or whatever. And I think they were gonna have Storm go back first because he had less stuff to get done. But the anesthesiologist came in and, you know, they asked you questions, and we had let them know that like Storm, when he was in my belly, something about his heart was like different. I don't know if you guys had watched for a long time, but even when I was pregnant with Storm, it was high risk, and like I was having tons of ultrasounds, and they were concerned about his heart, that something was wrong with it. So I went to like so many of these like, you know, pediatric cardiology appointments to have these ultrasounds. And basically his superior vena cava is like on the opposite side. And so I think that can throw people off, but he also has a heart murmur. And so when the anesthesiologist came in and like listened to his heart, he was like, yeah, he has a heart murmur. And then we had told him like, you know, we think that there's something with his heart, like something's on the opposite side. And he started to get a little concerned, and he was like, well, I'm not going to feel comfortable putting him under what you're telling me and what I'm hearing on the stethoscope. So I'm going to order an echocardiogram before we decided to go ahead with the surgery. And he's really scary. Like the way that he said it was like, he's like, I don't feel comfortable. I think there's something wrong. Doesn't sound good. And I'm like, I'm okay. Like, you're really scaring me right now. And he's like, well, let's get this, you know, checked out and we'll see what's going on. And so I'm like panicking this whole time. They're like, okay, we're going to take Snow back. And Storm had already had his happy juice. So he was like so cute. He was singing in the hospital. You can put his little singing clip in now.
I'm a swing of it.
You're so cute, buddy. You happy? Yeah, you're so brave, huh?
Yeah.
I love you.
Wipe.
Oh, what happened? You all right? But yeah, they did really well. Snow and like both kids were so brave, weren't scared. Like they just did such a great job. Even going back, like they were totally fine. Snow did great. Her surgery was pretty long. She had a lot to get done. And then the dentist came back and was like, yeah, she had a lot worse than we thought. We had to like extract one of the teeth, and you know, we had to do another crown on one of them because it got into the root. And so I was like, it's because we had to wait so long, you know? And so, but thankfully everything got taken care of. She's fine now. She has a little spacer in one of her teeth that's like now missing right here, and you know, a couple crowns. So I'm gonna have to do some extra videos or extra work to make up for like how much, I don't want to tell you guys like how expensive all of this is costing. It's not just like the dentist that charges you thousands of dollars, it's also the hospital, and then the anesthesiologist is a separate bill, like the hospital is a separate bill. There's like, you know, 3 different bills, and they're all thousands of dollars because like insurance only covers so much when it comes to like dental stuff. But it's like people are thinking like, oh, dental surgery is not that big of a deal, but when your kids have like multiple cavities that can turn into infections, and then if that goes like left untreated, it can turn into sepsis, like they could die, you know? So it's more serious, I think, than people think. Anyway, Snow's fine. She comes back out of surgery and she's a little tired, but then she looks at me and I notice that one of her eyes is like way bigger than the other one, and I full on panic. And I'm like, Snow, look at me like with your eyes. And she looks at me and I'm like, oh no. Because when I went to nursing school and EMT school, I always remember like we would take a flashlight and like look for any like brain injury or anything. Like you look at their pupils to see if like one is bigger than the other, like that could be a problem, you know? And so when I saw that, I panicked. And, you know, after surgery and knowing that like, I don't know, I didn't know what happened. So I just let the nurse know right away, like, hey, her eyes are messed up. Like, can we call somebody about this? It was really good about it. She called the anesthesiologist right away. Anesthesiologist came back fairly quickly and just let me know that like they give them Afrin in one of their noses because they put a tube up their nose and back into their throat when they're doing dental surgery. And so they spray that Afrin in, I think, to maybe like open up, I don't know, something. And they got some of it in her eye. And so that is why her pupils was bigger than the other. And he said it was going to go away like in 6 to 8 hours, which it did. And she's totally fine, but it definitely freaked me out at first. The echocardiogram, they came back, they did all the things, and basically everything looked fine. It was just that his superior vena cava is on the opposite side of most people's, but everything with the heart works normal. He did have like that heart murmur still, but call it an innocent heart murmur, but just something to like keep an eye on, he said. So then Storm went back into surgery. He came back, he was like so groggy. They were so groggy when they came out, and I like felt so bad. He was a little moody and like irritable, but overall the kids did great. Everything went amazing, and now their teeth are fine. But Storm also had more cavities than we thought. His like front tooth, like this one, I guess had a cavity behind it. Like, how did this even happen? I don't know. But they had to like, you know, do stuff to his front tooth, and I was like so scared they're gonna put like a silver tooth on here, but they did a white one, and you can't even tell. Like, the dentist did a really good job. Dentist was super nice, you know, explained everything to me. And it's hard when they're kids like brushing their teeth, you know. I think the biggest thing I took away was to like make sure that we're not snacking as much and things that could like get stuck in their teeth. No juices, just make sure they're only drinking water and stuff like that. So I felt like a horrible mom having my kids having that many cavities. But thankfully, to my surprise, a lot of parents had reached out to me and said like, don't feel bad because our kids also have a lot of cavities and you're not the only one. So it made me feel a little bit better. Anyway, and I think that's all. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below. I'll try to get back to all of them when I have time. But thank you for being here. Thanks for watching this video. I'm sending you all my love and all my positive energy, and I hope to see you in my next video. Mwah.